କେମିତି ଭଲ ହେଇପାରିବ how we can procure the environment and how the environment would be eco friendly ଆମ ସହିତ ଆମ environment ର କେମିତି ଭଲ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ରହିପାରିବ। ମୁଁ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଗୋଟେ କଥା କହିବି, you must be visiting to certain type of parks or parks। ଗୋଟେ ମ୍ୟାଙ୍ଗୋ ଆମ୍ବ ବଗିଚାକୁ ତୁମେ ଯାଅ, ମୁଁ ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲି କହୁଛି ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ କଥା। ଗୋଟେ ଆମ୍ବ ବଗିଚା, ସେ ଆମ୍ବ ବଗିଚାରେ 10 ବର୍ଷ ପୂର୍ବରୁ କିଛି କିଛି ଆମେ କଣ କରିଥିଲେ, ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟେନକୁ ବଢେଇଥିଲେ। ଥିଲା କେତେଟା ଥିଲା, 13ଟା ଆମ୍ବ ଗଛ ହେଇଥିଲା। 13ଟା ଦେଖ ଆମ୍ବ ଗଛ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ବଡ ହେଇଗଲା, ଆମ୍ବ ଫଳିଲା। ସେ ଆମ୍ବ ଗଛ ତଳେ ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ସପ ନେଇକିରି ବସିକିରି ସେଠି ପାଠ ପଢ, ଯୋଉ ପିସଫୁଲ ବା କାମ ଲାଗୁଛି ଆମେ ଏସି ରୁମରେ ସେତିକି ପାଇପାରିବା। ସବୁଠାରୁ ବଡ ହେଲା ସେଠି ଏଭିଡେନ୍ସ ରହିଲା କଣ, ସୁଥିଂ ଏୟାର, ଯୋଉ ପବନଟା ବହିଲା ସେ ପବନଟା ବହୁତ ଆପ୍ରୋଭେବୁଲ ଆବାଇଡିଂ ଟୁ ଅସ୍। ଦେନ୍ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ମନେ ରଖ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ପିସଫୁଲ ଏରିଆକୁ ଗଲେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ କ୍ଲାଇମେଟିକ କଣ୍ଡିସନ ରହିଲା କଣ୍ଡୁସିଭ ଟୁ ଅସ୍, ଆମ ପାଇଁ କଣ ହେଲା, ଉପକୂଳ ହେଇପାରିଲା। no one is disturbing there, ସେଠି କେହି ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବ କରିବାକୁ ନାହିଁ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ଦେଖ ପିଲେ, ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟେନଟା କରିଥିଲେ ତୁମକୁ ତୁମ ଘର ଲୋକ they are providing basic amenities to you, coaching, hostel, fooding and market pocket money, everything they are actually imbibing, providing to us। ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେମାନେ କଣ ଦେଖିବେ, ଆମ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ପ୍ରପରଲି କେୟାର କଲୁ, ପିଲାମାନେ ଆମ ଏକ୍ସପେକ୍ଟେସନର ରେଜଲ୍ଟ ଆଣିବେ, ତାପରେ ତାଙ୍କର ମାଇଣ୍ଡଟା ଠିକ କୁଲ ପିସଫୁଲ ରହିବ ନା। ସେମିତି ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟେନଟାକୁ তুমি ଲଗେଇଲ, ଗୋଟେ ଆମ୍ବ ଗଛଟାକୁ ଲଗେଇଥିଲ, ସେ ଫଳିଲା, ସେ ଫଳିଲା ବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ସାଇକୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ତମକୁ ସାଟିସ୍ଫାକ୍ସନ ଦଉନି କି, ଯାହା ଗଛଟି ଲଗେଇଥିଲା ସେ ଫଳିଲା, ମୁଁ ଏ ଗଛଟା ଲଗେଇଲି। So students, ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିବା actually one earth, one environment, one humanity କଣ କରିବା, consider କରିବା ବା create କରିବା, at that time I feel it will lead to self sufficiency। ସବୁଠାରୁ ବଡ଼ ଜିନିଷ ହେଉଛି ସେଲ୍ଫ ସଫିସିଏନ୍ସି। ତମେ ଜାଣିଥିବ so far as economy is concerned, human wants are unlimited. Still then, environment providing us anything else which is satisfactory in nature। environment ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆମକୁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଆମକୁ ସାଟିସ୍ଫାଇ ହେବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଆମକୁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ସମର ସିଜନ, ଆମେ ଯେ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟକୁ କମ୍ପ୍ଲେନ କଲେ ହବନି କି ଯାଇକିରି ଭଗବାନଙ୍କୁ ଯାଇକି କମ୍ପ୍ଲେନ କଲେ ହବନି, ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ୱର୍ଥଲେସ୍। ତାକୁ ଆମକୁ ସହିବାକୁ ପଡିବ, ଆମକୁ ବିୟର କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। then and there we can feel that everything is permitting us for better living conditions। The first essage in narrowing economic and technological disparities have not succeeded because the policies of aid were made to subserve the equations of power। We hope that the renewed emphasis on self-reliance brought about by the change in the climate for aid will also promote research for new criteria of human satisfaction। In the meantime, the ecological crisis should not add to the burdens of the weaker nations by introducing new considerations in the political and trade policies of rich nations। Listen, students. For ecological balance, we have a different type of international convocations, international conventions. You must be knowing about Kyoto Protocol is there, and certain international figures, and you must be knowing about also the wife of Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. She is also focusing on better climate and better women empowerment। ଦୁଇଟା ଜିନିଷ ଉପରେ ଫୋକସ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ଯଦି ତୁମେ କନସିଡର କରିବ, you must be knowing about Sundarlal Bahuguna, you must be knowing about Maneka Gandhi, you must be knowing about different type of actually personalities, those who are actually trying their best for environmental protection, how environment must be protected, how environment must be worshipped। So students, when we are emphasizing on technological development, policies must be made to imbibe or to make ecological balance which would not harm to the rich as well as the poor nations। ଆମେ ଏମିତି world over ରେ ଗୋଟେ କିଛି condition create କରିବା जो policy ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ international level ରେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର hazardous ଆସିବନି। almost all the nations, particularly the rich and the poor nations, must respect such type of ideology। So in the meantime, the ecological crisis should not add to the burdens of the weaker nations by introducing new considerations in the political and trade policies of the rich nations। You see, what is the political and trade policies? Most of the time, students, For political interest, we are taking nuclear tests. We are taking test of missiles. Missile. ଯେତେବେଳେ ମିଜାଇଲ ଗୁଡାକ ଆମେ ଟେଷ୍ଟ କଲେ ମିଜାଇଲ ଯାଇକରି ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ପଡିଲା ସେ ଏରିଆରେ ଯୋଉ ଲିଭିଂ କ୍ରିଏଚର ମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ମେ ବି aquatic ମେ ବି animals ଯିଏ ବି ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ତାଙ୍କର କିଛି ନା କିଛି ଡିଷ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ହଉଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ ହଉଛି ହବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କଣ କରିବା ନା କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର ପ୍ରୋସିଡିଂ ନବା ଗୋଟେ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ କଣ କରିବ ତୁମେ ଦେଖିବ particularly ଏଠି ପଲିଟିକାଲ ସିନେରିଓରେ ୟୁଟିଲାଇଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି कौन पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो यूटिलाइज करछन्ती कौन सी प्रकार पॉलिटिकल इंटरेस्ट पई हमें कोन कले बॉर्डर रे किछि डिस्टरबेंस क्रिएट कले बॉर्डर रे किछि कोन कले फॉल्स फायरिंग कले बॉर्डर को नहीं किछि किछि मिसाइल टारगेट कले एटा कोन हबो एनवायरनमेंट ऊपर टोटल टाइप ऑफ इंपैक्ट यदि हमें कहबा ए रूम टू कंसीडर almost all the 4 or 5 rooms including the office room it is 6 rooms of ordinary India you will just certain type of actually foul smelling gases and just spray it out तमे at least मु कहबी गोटे भलो नै आसे गोटे हार्ड दियो लगी से दियोटा कोन करो ना प्रत्येक रूम रे टिके टिके पके देखिबो आर जो थिला रिलेटिंग टू सेंटर्ड एनवायरनमेंट रे गोटे वेरिएशन आसे तमे नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट रे रुओ तुम किछि जणा पड़िबनी तम मान के भीतर केही भी जणे परफ्यूम यदि पके कि आसिला तमे कहबी के पके कि रे परफ्यूम के लेछि कि के लगै छि कि कारण कौन हम जो नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट रू वर्तमान हम जो आर्टिफिशियल को हम आसिले इट इज गेटिंग टू बी समथिंग स्टूडेंट्स it would be ironic if the fight against pollution were to be converted into another business out of which a few companies corporations or nations would make profits at the cost of many there is a branch of experimentation and discovery in which scientists of all nations should take interest. That should ensure that their findings are available to all nations and respected by others. You must be knowing about most of the students are of Priyanka, you are from Mangalore?
No, sir,
You are from Guabajar?
yes.
You are from Shikarpur? You are from Japan? You are from Big Road? You are from Vajragoda? You are from Vajragoda Road? That means you are actually almost all are from welcome to you to attend the classes in the morning. Almost all students, you see, suppose we have certain orientation relating to the people living in different areas. What is their climatic conditions? If you see, suppose you must be knowing about गोटे जगह रे धरा जो कहबे कटक रे फेमस गोटे रही बणिया साई गोटे अछि बेसिकली हमर गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट से गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट पे फेमस अछि मैं देखि पर गोल्ड को कोन करूची खादी का को सेपरेट करूची ताकरे कोन करूची मार्चुल सिके कोन से सल्फर के जब तेजाब सेटा कोन करूची सेपरेट करे दूची किंबा जेते बेले कोन करूची सोनाटा को टोटल से कोन करते टिके चाहउचनी गोटे कोन प्रकार हीटेड पैन रे पकेया पे गोटे प्रकार फाउल स्मेलिंग गैसेस आमे जदी कहबा तमे स्पेलिंग गुडा को एरिया रे हो जाको बंद कर ताल से को प्रोफेशन नै के बची जेते बेले हमर माइंड रे किछि रहउची किछि ना किछि एजेंट रहउचंती जो मन को पाई हमर एनवायरनमेंट पोल्यूटेड होउची से जो एनवायरनमेंट को जदी हमें प्रोटेक्शन देबा हम मन को भीतर कोन आ रहिबो आईडिया हम मन को भीतर गोटे आईडिया एनवायरनमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन मस्ट बी देयर बट साइड बाय साइड इट मस्ट बी रिहैबिलिटेटेड लोक मन को मध्ये किछि ना किछि रिहैबिलिटेशन करी लोक मन को किछि बेनिफिट पे हम कोन करिबा इनवाइट so students listen it would be ironic if the fight against pollution were to be converted into another business out of which a few companies corporations or nations would make profit at the cost of many there is a branch of experimentation and discovery in which scientists of all nations would take interest for the interest of all the nations they should ensure that their findings are available to all nations on restricted patterns. That means in this sense, while we are actually making allopathic medicines, those are nothing but certain type of chemical compounds. When we are actually forming it through labs, it must be certain type of pungent smelling could have been available. You see, students near SCB Medical College, maximum tablets, maximum actually wastage materials are setting through rather than like environment. Whether it is pure, it is not pure. When we are distilling the actually on antric medicines, unusable medications, actually those are of old stock medicines, which are actually outdated medicines. We are throwing it in canals as well as the rivers, which is actually annihilating for our hygienic sector, which is not good for our environment. So students, everything must be considered on the basis of consciousness of the people concept. Life is one and the world is one, and all these questions are interlinked. We must have interlinked the questions. The population explosion, poverty, ignorance, and disease, the pollution of our surroundings, the stockpiling of nuclear weapons and biological and chemical agents of destruction are all parts of a vicious circle. Actually, students, disease is there relating to our physical health. Social debacles are there. You must be knowing about poverty. Daridra Damar Roichi. Economic retardation is there. Ignorance, you must be knowing about illiterate, and population explosion to a certain extent. There is a hike in population, rise in population. Still, then when there is rise in population, you must have to take certain type of remedial measures by which the generated population growth must have to develop their perfect. So life is one and the world is one. All these questions are interlinked. The population, explosion, poverty, ignorance, and disease, the pollution of our surroundings, the stockpiling of nuclear weapons and biological and chemical agents of destruction are all parts of a vicious circle. Actually, those are dangerous. Each is important and urgent, but dealing with them one by one would be wasted. That means, students, we can't check environmental pollution within one day. Rome was not built in a day. Actually, everything to be successful needs successive generations to come. So, environmental protection is nothing but one idea about sustainable development. Your father or grandfather is constructing a building. Actually, he is not observing it. He is not taking the entire enjoyment of it. His generation would get the responsibility, and his generation would get the benefit as well as the satisfaction from getting it. In a similar way, students, if we take the initial benefit of preserving the environment, it would be curable, and it is sure that it will provide certain type of benefits to our society. It has been my experience that people who are at the cross purposes with nature are cynical about mankind and ill at ease with themselves. What is the meaning of a cynical? Means related, means preservingly related. About mankind and ill at ease with themselves if they are procurable. Modern man must re-establish an unbroken link with nature and with life, how life would be subject, how life would be organized. He must again learn to involve the energy of a growing things and to recognize as did the ancients in India a century ago. Actually, what the people are doing, what the people are actually concluding evidence are taking into account that one can take from the earth and the atmosphere only such as one puts back into them. Actually, students, when we are cutting down the trees, at that time, in return, we must have to plant trees. That is in return. Suppose you are creating different type of industries, small industries. When you are creating small industries, you must have to, as I have told you, you must have to use the dumping system. That means how the wastage materials must not harm the social order or ecological order. So that one can take from the earth and the atmosphere only much as one puts back into them. In their hymn to earth, you must be knowing about we have four Vedas, Rig, Sam, Yajur, Atharva. Almost all the Vedas and students you must be knowing about while I am teaching in the class. I am most of the time quoting the examples of the religious scriptures. The reason is that students, our life is well congratulated by Vedas aspects. Our life is well converted by or promoted by actually religious hymns, each and everything you see, which is the most content at the present scenario. Present scenario बर्तन कुह बर्तन समर सीजन बहुत पावरफुल किए छन सन कुह आमे यदि फायर को कंसीडर करू फायर होची मच मोर पोटेंट देन दैट ऑफ अदर्स हमर एनवायरनमेंट रो रिसाइक्लिंग प्रोसेस रे मैक्सिमम कंट्रीब्यूशन रहउची काहर फायर रो सूर्य टेम्परेचर रो तमे देखुथियो वर्तमान बेसिकली इफ यू कंसीडर द मेल्टिंग ऑफ द ग्लासियर रे भिने जोला से ग्लासियर नाही धीरे धीरे तरली गलानी गोइंग टू द स्ट्रिक्टनेस और आई मीन एक्सट्रीम टेम्परेचर और हीट ऑफ आई मीन सन तेणु जदि आम कह ऋक् साम यजुर्व अथर्व ये चारिटा वेदर प्रथम स्तुति हूँ रिलेटिंग टू अग्नि अग्नि की कौन कर संबोधन कर प्रथम वेद मंत्र पाठ आरंभ तेणु जदि आम एनवायरनमेंट कथा कहवा एनवायरनमेंट आमर विशेषकर कौ वेद सहित रिलेटेड रहा कौ वेद सहित रही देख ऋक् साम यजुर्व अथर्व अथर्व वेद सहित रिलेटेड रही एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन सो स्टूडेंट्स in their hymn to earth the sages of the हेबा लिखिजे अथर्व वेद chanted अथर्व वेद कौन कहिचंदी I quote what of the I dig out जेते बेले मु जोटा खोलुची कोन बाहरुची that let that quickly grow over जोटा कोन पत्तर मु खोलिली पुन सेटा बढी बढी करी बहुत शीघ्र चली जे मु जेते बेले माटी की खोलिली माटी की कोन कले निम्न स्तर को नेली किंतु ऊर्ध्व स्तर को कोन मो जीवन रे आसीला प्लांट्स अथर्व सब बेले देइछन मेडिसिन ऊपर तांगर इन्फेक्शन करछन विशेष कर हर्बिकल्चर ऊपर हर्बल ऊपर फोकस करिछन लिसन व्हाट ऑफ दीज आई डिग आउट दैट लेट क्विकली ग्रो ओवर लेट मी नॉट हीट बाय थाई वाइटल्स और थाई हार्ट जेते बेले एगुडा को मो बढ़ेइली तमे देखो पिले गछ तळे हमें बसिले गछ शाखा प्रशाखा हमको कोन देला छाई देला सूर्य किरण कहा ऊपर पड़िला गछ ऊपर पड़िला किंतु आमे पाइलु कूलनेस तेणु गछ हम निहाती प्लांटेशन करबा दरकार ना अर्थ बुझिल ना सो स्टूडेंट्स सो मैन कैन हिमसेल्फ बी वाइटल ऑफ अ गुड हार्ट एंड कॉन्शियस ऑफ हिज रिस्पांसिबिलिटी मनीष गोटे सहृदय रे रहइबो आ तोर रिस्पांसिबिलिटी कोन सोसाइटी पे रहइबो काम ऊपर मध्ये कोन करबो इम्बाइब स्पिरिट आनिबो दिन को दिन प्रतिदिन कोन करबो माइंड सेटअप रे गोटे रिसर्च करबो विदाउट लैबोरेटरी एवं जो थिंकिंग प्रोसेस रहइबो that means how we can make our environment eco-friendly how our life of the future generations would be sustainable through sustainable development ये सोशियोलॉजी समस्त पढ़िबो बढ़िया पिला गुरा छ बनले आदेशा जोटा तुम प्रेडिक्शन अच्छी जहाँ इंग्लिश मीडियम पिला भाविनियो फ्रांकली स्पीकिंग गोटे ओडिया मीडियम पिलार टीचिंग प्रोसीजर गोटे इंग्लिश मीडियम पिलार टीचिंग प्रोसीजर इंग्लिश मीडियम पिला क्लास 10 भीतर केते पैसा खर्च करछि मुनि जे मोर इंग्लिश मीडियम रो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन आर चंडी छ मु देखुची गार्डियन मुनि केते पैसा खर्च कर और सब्जेक्ट मैथ साइंस हमर इंग्लिश सोशल साइंस रहिला ओडिया लिटरेचर हो कि हमर जो सब्जेक्ट हो इंग्लिश मीडियम पिलांकर तुम देखो ओडिया मीडियम रो एक्सपीरियंस इंग्लिश मीडियम रो एक्सपीरियंस कारण तुम सब बेले मन भीतर रख ए 5 मास जो रहिला रिलेटिंग टू 4 मास एटा तुम कैरियर रो गोटे टर्निंग पॉइंट अब तुम कैपेबल अछि एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल तुम एटा तुम पे 90% गोटे सिक्योर करी गोटे भलो कैरियर करबा आर्ट सब्जेक्ट रे मु कहबी इट इज 100% वेलकम बाय मी मु एटा को जेबी वेलकम करी किंतु तुमको टिके समस्त जति की भी अछि तनु इज देयर श्रुति इज देयर आदेश इज देयर अन्य भी कहीं ऑप्शन टिके रहउछि से साइंस रो तेणु जी भी तुम मान भीतर ये अच्छे किया आसी दैट डजंट मैटर ग्रुप रे कोऑर्डिनेटिवली पढ़ आ दरकार पड़ले मैक्सिमम अल्टरनेटिव इंग्लिश मैक्सिमम मटेरियल माने इंग्लिश लिटरेचर को केमति रिवैम्पेट करिवो मु तो मेन कथा हला मु तो पढौछि ना मु भी कंपलसरी इंग्लिश पढौछि इट वुड बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर ऑलमोस्ट तुम एटा गोटे सुविधा इंग्लिश की बेस कर आ एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल्स रिलेटिंग टू इट तापर जते एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल मो पाखरे सब मोर लाइब्रेरी अछि पढिला भितर मु देई पारि बही देई के अल्टरनेट कर जो जते प्रकार नोवेल चाहे जते जो नोवेल चाहो जते लो लिटरेरी वर्क चाहो आईसीएसई और सीबीएसई रे जते सब रही डिटेन इनफोकस गुड़ा एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल सालिनी पब्लिशर हो एवरग्रीन हो बढ़िया बढ़िया आर्टिकुलेट मटेरियल अच्छी नहीं जाओ नहीं करी मते रिटर्न कर अब ठीक एबे कोन कर सब जिंस ऊपर फोकस कर जेमते पळे आसबो सेप्टेम्बर 100% फोकस करियो निज एकेडमिक ऊपर 4 मास रही भातर 3 मास सेप्टेम्बर अक्टोबर नवेम्बर भाविनी किंबा अक्टोबर नवेम्बर डिसेम्बर ये 3 मास रही तुम मन सफिशिएंट कोऑपरेट करो जेतेबे टी मझिरे मझिरे डाकी एक्स्ट्रा टाइम पे पळे आसबो नोट पूरा करना किछि तबे दिया है जे नोट्स हम डिक्टेट हेतिला आ किछि चैप्टर नोट मु देई देबे किंतु गोटे जिंस हम देखुछि कोन कि एटा मैक्सिमम होछि पैसेज हैला नेक्स्ट जो संडे रे मते रिमाइंड कर दबो सर गोटे पैसेज प्रोसीडिंग्स हम पैसेज को बेस कर लिखिबा फिर भी मु तुम किछिटा होमवर्क दउछि देखिबा यस 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 first students from your own point you must have to write it money causes more harm than good money causes more harm than good এটা ইনভার্টেড ভিতরে রাখো express your views either for or against the statement either for or against the statement second point cigarette smoking in public places should be banned should be banned should be banned give your views for or against the statement for or against the statement next third success depends on character success depends on character write down students success depends on character and not on opportunity and not on opportunity success depends on character and not on opportunity express your views for or against the statement listen success depends on character and not on opportunity express your views for or against the statement for or against the statement these are the things students and another task given to you page number 91 just read it out and express your ideas ask me several questions relating to it there will be another type of dissemination here to boost your communication skill 5 मिनट भलिया डिस्कशन करिबा रिलेटिंग टू द टॉपिक डिबेट करिबा तमे तम ओन व्यू पॉइंट दबो मु मो व्यू पॉइंट देबी तमे जो व्यू पॉइंट दबो ताको प्रूव करिबा मु जो व्यू पॉइंट देबी प्रूव करिबी रिलेटिंग टू पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव पर्सपेक्टिव्स
You have to write both the positive and negative aspects of this.
Suppose you are telling about the positive aspects, I will tell the negative aspects. And if you tell the negative aspects, I will took the positive aspects, and it would be debating section. Very nice, students. Join the classes of alternative English. It depends on your continuity, students. If you continue the classes, different type of materials I will provide you after completing these chapters. Chapter complete कला पर बड़े-बड़े materials will be. Literature of okay. तमरा roll call बोलते हैं आप पिले. Sociology अच्छी. अरे ये पे sociology अच्छी. इनका कौन class होगी? इनका economics class होगी. कौन करते हैं देश? Sociology.